What is going on, everybody? Today we will be reacting to Scott's. I'm not sure what this patch is for. I guess this is talking about the new what's his name patch. What's his name? Trickster. Yeah, the new Trickster patch, and I guess all the balances that come with it. So let's get started.
Scott here. Today I want to talk about the new patch with the Trickster and the new map and all that stuff, new perks, or I guess changed perks and changes to like Wesker and Ghoul and all that stuff. And I kind of want to go over the basic vibe of the video, which is
people love to say how amazing this map looks. Hey, sorry to tell you guys, but people modded a map like this a long time ago. If people remember, right? This was a video like 3, 4 years ago, where people like put mods in DBD, and they had a map like this, and it was actually pretty cool. It was pretty badass. So it's like, this isn't really impressive, if I'm being honest. They're just doing stuff years late. That should have been done a long time ago. Wow, now Trickster gets his own map, guys. Whoa. And I'm sorry, guys, like, I don't mean to sound like a cynical asshole, but it's like, man, come on, it can't take you this long to make, like, fucking content. Like, okay, if they had their own dedicated, engine, I can understand, sort of, but it's like, you're using fucking Unreal Engine 4/5. Like, what's the problem here, bro? Why are you taking as long as you are making content? I really don't get that.
exactly
Or even fixing up content, right? It's just weird.
was this patch made for, because it's very inconsistent with the decisions that the developers actually made, and I kind of wanted to go over how that's a little frustrating. So let's start with the elephant in the room, the big one, Trickster, the Trickster rework. I will say the Amina skin, pretty well made skin. I'm not really here for gooning bait and all that stuff, but she's pretty well made, got custom animations, custom Mori, custom sounds. Everything is overall pretty well handled, and again, visually...
My heckin' wholesome pretending to be a store owner or whatever.
Everything about this change is just, very good. The map is still gorgeous and all that good stuff. But Trickster, the actual gameplay, I think that skin will sell a lot, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of Trickster players past, a couple of...
Again, this is what the DBD fan base is talking about. This is what the low IQ DBD fan base is getting excited about. Skins! I mean, pardon me, but I don't give a shit about skins. Call me crazy, I know. I really don't care about skins in a video game. I want something that actually is meaningful to the gameplay. I know, call me crazy.
And that's because they didn't make Trickster any more accessible. In fact, they went in the complete opposite direction. Trickster is even less accessible now. And that's kind of at odds with how they usually do patches and things like that. When they do patches, they usually try to make it as universal as possible so they can get as many people as possible enjoying the new content.
Yeah, didn't the amazing minds at Behavior, didn't they like fucking lower his speed back to what it was originally, which is shit? It's like... These idiots can't do anything right without fucking something up, They can't.
And a lot of the time when they do stuff like that...
That's Behavior for you.
People like me and streamers and top 1%, all that stuff, we suffer for it, but it's still, without a doubt, better for the health of the game to balance around the casual player. Not like a brainless player that has no idea what they're doing, but just the average player that plays the game, the bulk that make it up. That's usually what they do. And they didn't really do that here this time. Trickster is without a doubt harder to play now, is, in my opinion, weaker even with all of that. And on top of all that, like, there's just nothing that made Trickster more engaging to go against either. So my whole point is, what did they accomplish with all of this? Basically, all they
accomplished pissing off the killer fan base, which is what they really love to do for some reason. Like, really love to do for some reason.
They catered an entire patch to like the 7 people that made...
They nerfed Save the Best for Last for no reason. They nerfed camping on hooks. They nerfed slugging. They nerfed everything, bro. Like, or they tried to nerf slugging. Sorry. I mean, sooner or later it will come, guys. It will. Whether you like it or not, it will come. That's why I stopped playing this piece of shit.
Trickster, and that's basically it, which is a really perplexing decision, and I'm happy for them, even though half of them are saying this is a downgrade too. But like, it's just such a weird decision to pick such a niche audience to basically change an entire patch for and just focus on them entirely. Because, like I said, Trickster...
Yeah, no, they should have just left Trickster, like, from the last redone that they did to him, they should have just left him the fuck alone, honestly. Like, if they're gonna be retarded, just leave him alone, dude.
It's harder to play now. The fact that Trickster went from 115 to 110 movement speed makes it so you are far more reliant on being extremely precise with your power. You can't make up mistakes with increased movement speed around loops and stuff like that. So you are genuinely going to be, trying a lot harder to win if you are not very experienced with the killer.
So they did lower his speed. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why you gotta lower speed, bro? It's not like Trickster was this amazing killer. Like, he's not. The hell?
Because like I said, one of the least played killers in the game, most people are not very experienced with Trickster, so people are going to try this, realize, oh, this is even worse than I remember, because for them, it actually is worse than they remember. You actually are probably weaker now, and they're just going to drop it. So it's not like anyone's going to play Trickster, or we're not going to have any more Trickster players past a couple of days here.
Oh, and like, by the way, guys, have you noticed that they did not even increase the knife throwing speed? Yep. So they made him back to the fucking shitty 110 version of himself without increasing the speed of the knives. I am living in Bizarro world, bro. Seriously. Behavior has to be the worst company to have a game like this, honestly.
The initial allure of something new and exciting will be gone very quickly, and then we'll be in a scenario where, unless you dedicate months to mastering the killer, you're just left with an even worse version of what you already had. So, like, in that regard, I feel like this patch is just kind of a failure, because the idea is we want more people playing killers, and we want the killers to be more fun for everybody. That's the overall goal of the entire game, as much fun as possible for everybody. But all we have now is casual players are going to have...
It's like I said, I'm thoroughly convinced that their only job is to just piss off killer mains at this point. Seriously, you cannot change my mind. You can't change my mind.
In a worse time playing this killer. The new map is terrible for this killer, and then we have it so the survivors going against them are still doing the same things that they used to.
Oh yeah, right. Like the map doesn't even the map doesn't even help. Like it really doesn't. Like the map is like actually a middle finger to Trickster, if anything.
To do, and it's still boring for them. They didn't fix how fun it is to go against. They didn't fix how easy it is to get into the killer or anything like that. They didn't really fix much anything. They just slapped a UI element on the screen and you get dopamine sound effects. And other than that, it's basically the same killer except just worse. Now, there are a couple of Trickster mains. Some of them have said this is a downgrade. Some of them said this is like a tentative side grade, and like one or two of them said it's an upgrade. I cannot fathom any possible way in which this is an upgrade. Just main event itself.
Yeah, I can't either. Not to mention that, like, again, you cut your speed. No, that's a nerf. That's a huge nerf. I even said that, like, when they upped his speed to 115, no matter what they nerfed from there, that's automatically a W. Like, that was automatically a Trickster W. Now they moved it back to 110. What the fuck are you guys doing, Behavior? Like, no, really, what are you guys doing? Seriously. Actually, the worst company to have a game like this. Really. No, the worst company in general. Their graphics still look like they're, like, a generation or two, like, behind. Or not really the graphics, but I guess the animations, per se. Like, the Moris still look like they're from the fucking PS2 era, The balancing has gotten worse. The stupid MMR has gotten worse. And there's still hackers in the game. Like, what did you guys improve over the last 8 years? Almost nothing. Like, you really didn't. They didn't improve anything for the last 8 years. It's pathetic. In fact, they made it worse within the past 8 years.
Takes literally 4 times as long to get to. And although main event is not the entire draw now, because when you're in S tier that allows you to activate main event, you're actually throwing knives pretty damn fast, like half the speed of main event in itself. So sometimes it's better to just not even use main event.
So you have to throw knives to throw... No, you have to hit with your knives to throw them faster. Am I the only one that thinks that does not make any fucking sense whatsoever? So again, the killer mains, you have to try harder. Survivor mains, don't worry, little buddies. We'll pat you on the head. Don't worry. Fucking ridiculous, bro.
And whatsoever. You just get to S tier and then just use the benefit
It's ridiculous.
of S tier. And that's sort of weird because main event was always like the main finisher to the power, and now it's almost like an afterthought because it takes so long to get to that point, and once you've earned that S rank, you just want to use the S rank because as soon as you main event, the S rank goes away. And it's just like, it puts you in this weird scenario where you're not really using main event that much anymore. You're just kind of benefiting from the additional tier, but even getting to S tier without add-ons and stuff like that, without specific add-ons that affect how much you actually get from certain things, it takes a really long time, even for really good tricksters that can needle through the haystack loops and get, additional style points of doing long-range shots. It still takes significantly longer because current, or at least old trickster now, you had to hit 8 knives. You got basically 1 damaging health state on somebody and you got main event. Now you have to do like these crazy shots through holes. It needs to not decay. You need to not be doing nothing for a certain amount of time or your rank will just decay.
Exactly. Like, I forgot about this, but the decay bar is still a thing. Why is that still a thing? Why not just make it so that they have to pull the knives out or something? Like, why does it decay over time? That makes no sense. The fucking knife is still in their goddamn cranium. Like, it's not like, oh, the knife just magically disappears. I don't know, dude. This is so retarded.
Over time, so if people play very ratty and safe, you're just, fuck you, I don't care, you're just gonna lose rank regardless. Like, there's a lot of shit that is just really unnecessarily punishing to newer players that I'm not really sure what they were thinking, because this is not going to get anyone else interested in the killer. This is just gonna make people go even further away, and they didn't fix the issue of how funny it is to go again. So overall, I don't see how any portion of this can be seen as a success unless you're like the 3 Trickster mains that actually think some of these are like a side grade or maybe an upgrade. So other than that, I think I'm not too happy with Trickster. Now, they did a lot of other changes.
Yeah, I'm not either. This is a shit change. And yeah, no. I'm just like preaching to the choir here, but they need to change a lot of things back. Really.
Changes with this patch too. Wesker, for example, on the PTB was horrendous because they removed a lot of very fun things like, the motion of flying off cliffs. You just hit an invisible wall now. Every time they add an invisible wall or a power stopping, I just think back to Sky Billy and how they'd remove something that wasn't damaging the game in any way, and it was just fun. So I just hate when they do shit like that. So all that stuff, all the stuff that made Wesker feel terrible to play in the PTB.
Oh, when they took out mods too, right? Even though those mods were just skins and nothing really else. And, like, I don't even think that the killer could see it, by the way. Like, I think like say if you were a survivor and you had skins, right? Like, or no, you modded a skin in. I didn't even think that the killer could have saw the skin, you know? Like that was a really fun time too, where there was like mods, you know, that was crazy. But yeah, of course, dumbass behavior has to be dumbass behavior and be like, hey, you can't have mods, but we're still gonna allow hackers in our game. Like, fuck you, behavior. Fuck you. You guys are a shitty company. Go down under, please.
Is still here. They said they were going to try to implement some of it as they went forward, but basically none of it is there. It's just exactly as it was in the PTB. All the Wesker mains are upset because they basically just dumbed down the killer to a massive extent, which again is really weird because the Trickster update is super, like, directly pinpoint precision on like the 5 Trickster mains and everyone else fuck you, but then the Wesker changes and like the Ghoul changes dumb everything down and remove all semblance of skill from everything. So that really is supposed to appeal to everybody because that's what I'm saying. Like, this patch is so inconsistent on who they're actually aiming it for.
Yeah, like, are they trying to get people hyped for their own characters or not? Like, I'm telling you, behavior doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. They really don't. Like, the whole changes that they do to their unique killers is sabotaging them, and the buffs and nerfs or whatever that they do to the other killers, the licensed ones, are the ones that makes them more appealing. Why are you trying to depend on licensed killers? That's not a good idea for your business, bro. It's really not. Especially because Myers is leaving, you know, what's his name left? I forgot who. The Xenobite, he left as well. Like, like, get over yourself, man. Stop fucking making, dumb shit like that mandatory, you know? Or like, more appealing. Because you're gonna lose those licenses sooner or later, like... It's only a matter of time.
I'm just confused. And then like with the Ghoul, the whole revaulting thing where when a Ghoul would vault the pallet after you, you could like wait until their foot touched the ground and then vault back into them and be safe if you timed it perfectly. Now when the Ghoul vaults, you just don't get hit. You can just at any point. It's like removing the timing from flashlights entirely. You just, whenever a Ghoul vaults a pallet, vault back into him, you'll be fine. There's no hit animation anymore. He doesn't have any damaging hitbox around him at all. So all you have to do is just camp on the other side of a pallet, and if a Ghoul's trying to vault, just vault back into him and you'll be fine. Ghoul has to just cancel the power and then kick the pallet. So I'm not too upset about that one, to be honest, because I like Ghoul for the cool shit that Ghoul can do. Like, instead of just vaulting Shack and then hitting someone, like, you know, vaulting the Shack window, hitting someone with that, like, whipping outside a Shack and flying around it and cutting someone off doing Spider-Man shit, that's what I love about Ghoul, and that's what's cool. So the fact that that actually kind of makes that gameplay more important now, I think actually is kind of a good thing. So although that change might make a lot of people upset, that's probably the thing I'm least upset about, because pallet scampering on any killer is just always just shit. Whether it's Chucky or whenever they can do it, it's always a really boring mechanic. When you drop a pallet, killer vaults after you and hits you in 2 seconds. It's just boring. So I appreciate that they're at least trying to move away from that.
Yeah, but it's necessary. Like, that is necessary. I mean, I would love the game to not be balanced around that, but unfortunately, those killers need to have those abilities in order to get more hooks, you know, be able to defend gens better. Like, it's not like they balanced gen rushing or anything like that, right? Of course not. Of course they're not. So the problem is that when they take those tools away from killer, it just makes it a worse experience for the killer. Like a bad experience, not even worse, just bad. So that's the problem, you know?
And I honestly think that will make Ghoul slightly less hated to go against, because it is really stupid when you're at a good pallet and the Ghoul just, like, there were some things you could do, and if you knew the revault timing, it was fine, but now everyone can do it with no thought, so it just will simply not work on anyone anymore. So Ghoul's vault has been made a lot worse. So take that as you will. Again, I'm not too upset about that one, but I know a lot of Ghouls are going to be upset about it, because again, it just dumbs a lot of stuff down. So the map, like I said, for Trickster, utterly miserable, one of his worst maps. It's actually a lot of killers' worst map. It's maybe not worst map, but it's very bad for a lot of killers. Conversely, killers like Wraith, who I tested on this map, absolutely shit on this map. This is a really good stealth killer map. So if you're playing Wraith or Ghostface or even Myers, like, you can get really close to people before they have any idea you're nearby.
You know, I really don't understand what they do, you know? Like, what's their thought process when they're making a map? You know? Like, when you make a map with a certain killer, you know, why don't you look at the killer that could benefit from it? Like the killer that you made of the franchise that you made around the map, if that makes any sense. Like, Haddonfield does not help Myers or any stealth killers whatsoever, right? That is a bane of Myers' existence, really. It shouldn't be. That should be his main home, right? You know? Ghostface should also feel at home with Haddonfield. And even Pig, right? Pig should feel at home with Haddonfield. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, it does not make any sense, bro. So, take out all the extra shit in here so that it'd be easier for Trickster to shoot his knives. Oh, shit. Wow. Ridiculous, right?
Those stealth killers are going to benefit a lot from this map because it is very, very claustrophobic and cluttered in most spots. However, there is one, actually, there's several 3-gens that can spawn on this map, which I'm really worried about because I feel like killers are going to be kind of pigeonholed if they don't have mobility or map control. They're going to be pigeonholed into holding these 3-gens because they can't afford to go anywhere else. So I think we're going to have like a Dead Dog or a Forgotten Ruin scenario where killers might ignore like half of the map and just sit in one area because they're kind of forced to do that. So I don't know, like.
Yep, great. Again, great balances from the geniuses of behavior, as you can see, right?
Again, aesthetically, the map is it's not one of it, it's the best map they've ever made, but playing on it, I'd say half the killers are going to be really struggling a lot. Trickster, probably most of all, because of how slow he is, but if you're playing a killer that's got like mobility, that can just simply move fast, like Spirit or Wraith or Ghoul or Blight, you'll be fine, but you're typically fine with those killers anyway, so what does that say? So overall, I don't know, I'm not super happy with this patch. I'm not like upset with it either. It just sort of nothing really happened. It's just sort of a very nothing burger for me. One new map is cool. It's just another map I'm kind of going to dread playing on half the killers, which is not great. So really, unfortunately, not too much to look forward to. I was never a fan of Trickster to begin with. I do like the skin. I think it was very well made. Again, art team, every time they nail it, but...
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, congratulations. The art rejects, are doing a decent job at designing. Cool. What about the game, though? Right? Again, another... typical failure from behavior. At this point, if you're not black-pilled by DBD, I really wonder what kind of unicorn farts you huff, because really though, like, you really need to get with reality, right? You do. Behavior is not going to get any better. DBD is not going to get any better. It just seems like it's going to get worse and worse. They're going to depend on other shitty licenses that no one's going to care about after like a few weeks. Yeah, and that's it. This was Scott Jund, or whatever his name. Yeah, Scott Jund. Oh, wow. 10 out of 10. Bye.